Now, he has launched us into the issue of management.
Just what you said. At this point, I would like to, take it up from where he stopped. If you check the internet, 2 organizations seem to throw the internet in Nigeria. And it's very, very gratifying to find that. Benola Institute, Benola, it's a Cerebral Palsy non-governmental organization.
Okay.
I think that one is run by an Air Vice Marshal, Femi Gbadebo, and his wife.
Right here in Nigeria. Right? Great.
There's another one called cp.org, Nigeria. And that one is run by one Mrs. Nweke. These 2 bodies are actually run by people, couples, who have children with cerebral palsy. And when you go to the website, what you find is support and the need for awareness and the education, and the fact that you have what they call the ambassadors, people who have cerebral palsy, who have master's degrees holders,
But you said there was an intellectual challenge.
There can be, so it's going to have to be mild, moderate, or severe. And if you have a patient who has a mild, you don't have a problem educating that child. This is where the concept
this education will this be in a normal school or a special school?
So special education is one issue that remains a bit controversial, because you have to be very individualistic when you are choosing where a child should be. A child who has mild cognitive issues may not necessarily fare badly if he's mixed in with other people of the same, of normal intelligence. The problem with that is you're not sure what the curriculum should be like. Should it include the children who have...
So these are concepts that are still developing.
They're still developing. So you need legislation to ensure that, people recognize children with special needs. And the trainers have to be, well recognized, remunerated, and encouraged. So that in various schools which have other children who are normal, you should be able to say, look, there is a section for patients or for children who have these challenges.
Special needs. Let's quickly take this call. Hello, Jennifer. Hello, Jennifer. Apparently, Jennifer isn't on the line. Do try again, Jennifer. So
the other thing about...
Now, I assume that the doctors, specialists, by the way, I would like you to tell us what kind of specialists would be involved, will be the ones to evaluate if this child is able to cope with regular school, or if he should have special education.
It's a multidisciplinary issue. It's a difficult thing for one person alone to be able to say. Remember what we've said. They have postural and movement problems, but they can have visual problems. Auditory problems. That means they may not hear what you're trying to tell them. They have intelligence issues, that's cognitive issues, and they also have, issues with their own ability to cope with, that's behavioral issues.
Why behavioral?
Because behavior is also part
disruptive
of...
behavior?
That's right. It could be disruptive. It could be disruptive. What we want to say is, when you have a child who's got this kind of condition, he needs to be seen, for instance, by an ophthalmologist, needs to be seen by a speech therapist,
ENT specialist,
specialist, ear, nose, and throat, needs to be seen, not just the neurologist. The clinical evaluation of a child is just the beginning. By the time you want to get him to be useful to himself, you need a physiotherapist to be able to assess the level of, impairment in his muscle function. You need to be sure that you don't have to help him out surgically to release, very spastic, or what we call tense muscles and joints. You need an occupational therapist, not because you want to get him a job immediately. You want to be able to assess his limitations and be able to allow him to carry out activities of daily living as independently as possible. The concept of economic support and all that is just after. It's only a child who can take care of himself that should be able to look for a way of making a living.
That's right.
So you need an occupational therapy is not exactly, popular in this part of the world. So a speech therapist, a physical therapist, that's the physiotherapist, occupational therapist, a speech therapist, and even a psychotherapist. Many times when you're dealing with nervous system conditions, you're actually having more to deal with the caregivers of the patient rather than the patient.
Okay, that's the parents.
The parents, or whoever has decided
what they're going
through. Depression is a constant feature in patients who have severe neurocognitive disorders. And you need to sit them as, because the patient himself may not even know that there's a problem. He's sitting down in the consulting room with you, oblivious of anything happening. But you are talking to a woman who's been caring for him, who's crying because first he's violent, second he doesn't even know the need for his drugs, thirdly he just, so so incapable of looking after himself and carrying out health-seeking attitudes. Not because of anything that is wrong, it's just because he doesn't have the cognition to do that for himself.
Okay, let me just allow you to have a final word because we're almost out of time. Okay. What would you want to pass along? The
message I want to pass along is two-pronged. First of all, there is a need for very well supervised and well trained antenatal care, delivery, and early neonatal, supervision. And second, the parts of the non-clinical aspects of healthcare, including, the therapies, that's what I call them, physiotherapy, psychotherapy, occupational therapy, have to be developed. It's no longer necessary. And then you also want collaboration between these groups so that we can treat a human being, whether he's neonate or he's an adult, as a whole being.
Okay. With that, we have to stop here. Thank you so much, Dr. Daniel. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Ben, Jennifer, even though we didn't hear you. And keep it up. Let the tweets come in, let the calls come in. Let's make it a date again and have a great day. I am Mary Alale Yusuf.